Welcome back, people.
Don't know why I did
Too
that.
confident now.
I know, man. Christ
Welcome
almighty.
back to the Scottish Bodybuilding Podcast, episode number 2. First of all, we would just like to say a massive thank you actually to Bulletproof Studios, whose turnaround on the last podcast is incredible. The setup here is sensational, so it is. So thank you to them, first of all. Secondly, thank you to every single person who tuned in and watched the podcast. The feedback we have had, it's been tremendous, isn't it? This week. Incredible.
I think we hope for good feedback, as you do.
Please
But
don't let us
the initial
flop.
response was absolutely insane.
It was
I
brilliant.
think the way we went about it was proper as well. I don't think we could have teed it up any better. The support's been fantastic. The feedback's been fantastic. We both had a plethora of different messages with regards to the value behind it, but also with regards to the actual tangible value when it comes to progression, but also just how we are on camera and what I've got to say and how we come across. There's been good feedback, man.
People have taken to us. I'd say we're pretty likeable gentlemen as well.
Just
do
a
you know
little
what I mean?
bit. Just a little bit. I mean, there's going to be a couple of people that ain't a fan of us, but you can go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves.
We don't care about you.
Exactly. We're here for you. Do you, boo?
You do.
You do you. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 2. The first one was a bit of a recce, bit of a feeler, but it went to plan, man. It was just going to be
100%.
much so the same. Shoot the shit. We do have a rough idea of where we're going to go. I think we're going to start off just a bit of a rundown of where we're at. Calvin and I have both had pretty busy weeks.
Very busy weeks.
Obviously covering a little bit more in the Scottish season that's coming up. I think conclude with a bit of a Q&A. So Calvin, tell me, how's your week been? The politest way possible, brother. You've had a hectic week.
Yeah,
Had a hectic
tired.
week. Now I'm blessed to be more privy to your life than most. As everyone should know,
You're in the
Calvin is an extremely successful coach. And on top of that, he's opening a gym at the minute. And
in the
between the,
process.
I mean, look, how you keeping? How are you keeping between the two? Honestly,
Bro, I'm not keeping. I'm funny bits.
Yeah.
I'm only kidding on. I'm trying not to overthink it. I'm trying not to go overwhelmed. I'm in a position just now where, yes, there's a hell of a lot going on, but I've became very, very good at... When I started all this stuff, it was like, you have to have kind of a form of self-belief and almost see what you're trying to achieve in front of you.
Force done.
So what I've kind of even just achieved over the last few years, whatever it's been, I can now see that when you're working towards something, there is an end goal. So with everything kind of going on just now with the gym and stuff like that, it's coming together. I know there's a lot of people like eager to get in. The process of opening the gym has been delayed through no fault of our own, unfortunately. It's been frustrating. There's been delays on certain
What's
things
happening?
and stuff like that. Just kit over Christmas was delayed, shipment and all that sort of stuff. People who are supposed to finish in jobs, maybe not finishing in time. So listen, this is the thing. See, when you're trying to build something of that stature, it's very big.
So I sort of go for a tangent, but I don't know if you ever watched like Grand Designs. So they're doing Grand Designs and they're saying, yeah, I want to spend like, $750,000 and have like an 8-month timeline, and the geezer sat there saying, y'all smoking crack.
It doesn't happen.
But same with all business though,
100%.
man. Especially to the extent that you're doing, it's not just like it's a wee garage setup with a couple of racks and a couple of machines. It's like what? How big is the unit and how many pieces of equipment are we talking?
It's like 16,000 square foot. So this will be like probably one of the biggest gyms in Scotland. Do you know what I mean? So you need to expect delays when you're embarking.
I'm not
on
gonna lie, mate. You've
projects.
not pushed the scope of the place as much.
I know.
See when you're sat there explaining, say it's going to be one of the biggest gyms in Scotland. It's like
This is the thing. I'm kind of waiting for it. Now it's starting to come together this week. Like we're going to see big transitions. So now I can get like the black sheep down. Shout out my boy. Start getting some content. Start really pushing the gym and stuff like that. People know what's coming. Do you know what I mean? The page is.
Do you know what you should do? You should do like a wee YouTube series for the final couple of weeks.
That's a good shout. That's
Just
a great
like,
shout.
do you know what I love? Again, you love their kit, but Represent.
Aye.
They do a behind the brand documentary. I don't know if anyone knows the supplement. Well, most people should, but like Ghost Lifestyle,
Aye, Ghost
they've had behind the brand for like years and years and years.
Right.
And I love all like the business documentaries, like the kind of like to kind of
that's cool.
document. And I think you should do something like
That's
that,
a
man.
good shout. I probably will do something like that. Again, it's just mere time.
Sorry, bro. I'm just throwing you right under the bus there,
No,
man.
no,
but
no, that's
if you're
good.
doing
Just-
something so fucking awesome, man,
You
like,
want to document
aye,
it,
man.
100%. I've always got these, like, see, when I'm getting into something and I'm like, oh, this will be so cool to document, and I'm just like,
Yeah, you get
we'll
overwhelmed,
definitely
dude.
find the time to do this.
Yeah.
But no, 100%, I do believe that. But it's coming together anyway. We're starting to see huge changes to the gyms and stuff like that. I'm going to start putting some content out. It's really come together. It's a lot, like I say, but anything worth having in life is never going to come easy,
not
man.
at all,
There's
man.
going to be forms of stress, there's going to be forms of pressure. But now, because I've been in a situation before before where I have kind of just dug in
You're
deep,
climatised to it.
100%, and then I can see this is going to come together. So when I'm standing in that gym and I'm like, this is still to be done, that's still to be done, and then I've got like, every time I go into the gym and then I come back out, I've got like 60 messages on my WhatsApp, because obviously coaching's my baby. That will always come first. Do you know what I mean? The coaching is allowing me to do what I'm doing with the gym. That my clients will always be priority. But it's just trying to keep everything rolling and keeping the standard high. That's the last thing I can let drop there. Do you know what I mean? And it will not. But it is quite overwhelming at times. You just need to take a wee breath and go, hold on. Because in a couple of months.
What do you usually do whenever you feel that way?
What I usually do,
Yeah.
I literally just take a big breath and I say, everything's going to be good. I've been here before. I know what it feels like. Pressure is a privilege. I'd either be able to take all this away from me just now and I wouldn't be getting to do what I do in life that I love. So essentially it's a case of leaning into it, embracing it, and understanding that it...
The thing is like you fight in life for opportunities like these.
Absolutely, man. I'd kill to be in this position a few years back. Do you know what I mean? That's why I can't be like, oh, that's a shit, that's shit.
I have that like conversation with myself all the time when I get burned out. I'm like, what am I complaining about, man? I was like, I've literally dreamt of being in this position. And
but it still does impact.
I think it's important that you break it down. I think that as soon as you start to break down the actual complexities of the job, it's just a case of ticking the boxes. Like, right,
man.
show up correct,
Yep.
be pleasant, be thorough, be timely, give them the effort, but just make sure that you're giving yourself that time at the back end day to relax. There's going to be some days that you don't. There's going to be some days you get half an hour on the sofa at the end of the day,
and it's going to need to be taken like that. And
tough shit, man.
That's exactly it.
You know, there's going to be a lot of short term sacrifice for a long term gain down the line.
That's one.
I don't know about you, but personally speaking, I want to be doing what you're doing. I'd love to open a facility.
It's coming your way.
And I definitely have plans of doing it.
Amazing.
But like, what's your stance in terms of coaching thereafter? You know,
Coaching,
because personally speaking, I'd quite like to have the two, and I'd like to eventually just taper down the number of athletes that I have to a select pool of, let's say, half, but just make it the most like prestigious.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And please, like, you know, like the people in terms of lifestyle clients, like I love doing that just now.
Absolutely.
I love doing it.
Absolutely.
But there's only so much that we can do as coaches, as humans, and as much as I like and love the lifestyle stuff because it's so rewarding. I love looking at freaks. I love looking at big bubbly muscles and men and women. Like that's like my
I know what
shtick.
you're talking about. That's where your passion lies.
And if we can
because you're a bodybuilder yourself,
and eventually I'd love to have this kind of like 50-50 split.
So that's 100% somewhat the goal. Do you know what I mean? If I can handle it through this phase, which I'm definitely doing, my service has definitely not dropped. I don't see why I won't be able to, once the gym is up and running, because we've got plans in place for people to be able to kind of people who are going to run the gym, manage it. I'll be there constantly as well. Do you know what I mean? But most certainly, in given time, what I'm kind of more looking at is the quality of client. I feel as though I've got myself in a position where I've worked with a lot of people. I can show the results that I can produce. Where now I'm in a spot where I won't even touch the surface with time wasters. Do you know what I mean? If somebody's coming to me, they're not putting in that effort, and I'll always try and grind to get that effort out of somebody.
110%.
But if they ain't wanting it, and I want them to achieve their goals more than they want to achieve their goals, I'm sorry, I'm not working with you. Now, at the beginning of my coaching, you need to take the clients. Do you know what I mean? But I'm literally at a spot now where I'm like, if you are not here to work, I don't want to work with you. If you're here to work, I will get you into shape. I'll get you that result. I'll put you on stage at your best. I'll transform your life. I'll get you ready for Ibiza. But you need to come here.
If anyone's listening to this thinking, Calvin's not going to do this, what we're trying to say is, look, see if someone comes on board with us, our job is to try and turn them around.
Yep.
If your habits are the antithesis of what's required, we will try and break you down. We will try and re-establish productive behaviours and patterns. But unfortunately, if you can't do that, there's not so much that we can do. Because I've got myself in states before our clients. I'm like, what have I done wrong here? Like genuinely, like what the fuck am I doing wrong that I cannot get through to this person? I will literally go through almost like a checkbox. I'm like, right, phase 1, let's approach it like this. Phase 2, let's approach this. Phase 3, and I'm really like at my fucking boiling point now. I'm really at my boiling.
And that in phase 3, that could be 15 weeks down the line, and you're still trying to grind it out with them. And then it needs to come to a point where you say, this person just doesn't want it. They don't care. I care more about them. And that rubs off on us because we're so passionate about what we do. I say this to everybody, and you'll be the same. When a client jumps on board, their goals instantly become my goals.
100%.
It's now my goal to get you to your goal, and it breaks my heart when somebody can't stick to it, can't adhere, can't put in the work and expect just to get the results. And you can only do that for a duration of time before you like you say, you're ready to mentally snap.
I was having a conversation with my client Yusuf. So my client Yusuf, he's up in Aberdeen.
The bucket hat?
Hi, the bucket hat boy. Man. The bucket hat boy.
He looks cool as hell.
He's
so
amazing, man. He's got a heart of gold.
Guy.
He's got insane potential, man. A lot of the work that I have with Yusuf is like mindset based. Like just making to actually behave like an athlete. And that's, I think, my biggest selling point, I think, as a coach. Like, I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, Calvin, but like the way that I get my guys to look at things is all about self-belief, behaviours, walking the walk, setting an example, and persistently reinforcing productive values within yourselves.
You've done that with me big time.
You know, like, I'm not the kind of guy that just gives you a plan and say on your pop. It's like, I want to know the ins and outs, and I want to know the inner workings of your head to avoid any stagnation. And when I've got young lads like Yusuf, I really want to try and nurture that. And I end up, you know, getting a good relationship with him.
That's incredible. I think that relationship is everything as well, but I'll give you absolute credit for that, because when I joined you, I was in a spot where I was like, mate, to be honest, I'll get into shape, maybe I'll jump back on stage, like I'm just happy to maintain a bit of consistency. I'll just kind of shoot for coaching, and I'm not really fussed. I don't think I can achieve much in bodybuilding. You were like, shut your mouth, mate, you're going to win shows here. And then that self-belief came about, and then the physiques kind of started.
You got a really good point as well. As one of my clients, Lewis Holden, we both know Lewis.
Big Louis Ball.
Yeah, he's a great lad, man. He's a great lad, man. I think that, and I've said this to Holden in the past, man, but I felt like his prior experiences about prep kind of left a little bit of a sour taste in his mouth. But when he came on board to me, I was like, man, look, cut that shit out. I was like, you have potential to do well here. Things just weren't managed. I was like, put yourself in that fucking corner, mate. And demand more of yourself. In the off season he done there, mate, bigger, rounder, tighter.
Mate. Best I'd seen him.
You know, we didn't drive scale it up, you know, stupidly, because he doesn't merit that right now. 100%. But when he started walking the walk and leaning from the front, his body was operating in ways that hadn't done so, and it put us into this beautiful position that we're in just now, where we're able to pull him into a diet. His body's beyond responsive, and it's just through those behaviours.
Absolutely, mate. 100%.
You know, and again, like, I know I don't harp on or don't shut up about the whole prospect of the butterfly effect, but if you begin to shift and take on board productive feedback and channel that for a week into 2, into 3, into 4, little opportunities that generally would have never came about begin to just unveil and present themselves with unique opportunities.
And again, mate, put that down to yourself, because that is that self-belief that you've created back within him that he maybe lost. And I'm the master of doing that with my clients. I'm like, you're going to achieve this. Of course, realistic expectations here, but I'll tell them, you achieve this, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. But when it comes to myself, I need somebody like you to say, you're going to do this. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm the best at projecting it to my clients, but when it comes to myself, I think we're our own worst critic. Do you feel as though, see the way you project it into your clients and stuff like that, and even the way I project it into my clients and create that self-belief, do you feel as though you create that within yourself? You don't, do you? To a degree?
So, like, I have like good days and I have bad days, man. I'm going to be totally honest with you, man. I put a lot of pressure on myself, mate, to be bloody amazing, man. And I'm also a realist because I'm a good coach and because I'm so aware of like the competition out there. But I really struggle to like see myself how other people like see me when I'm like, you know, posing, when I'm on stage. But I get like these little moments of it, and see those little moments, mate, I get quite emotional when I think about them, because they mean so much to me. They mean so much because they're so fleeting, and when you talk so negatively about yourself for a while and you get these little pockets of acknowledgement, they translate tenfold in terms of how I feel internally. So like I'll kind of lean into it every now and again, but like for me, I need to get into the like run of prep, if you 100%. Get me. See, when things get hard, that's when I start to come alive. If
I know
you get
what you're
me.
talking about. No,
like I can coast, mate. Like life is, I know that obviously this week we've both been very busy and we'll kind of cover that, but like I'm coasting, mate. You know, but see when like I'm up against it, that's when like I really, that's like even when I speak about it, it excites me because I know how much of a fucking savage I can be, mate. I will run through walls, mate. I will do anything that I need to do, man. Like I will make a point that whenever I go to compete again, I will be the most conditioned person at that show. First time I competed, most conditioned person at the show. Second time, exactly the same. Third time, exactly the same. Next time I do the Two Bros, mate, I'm sorry, but like I'm saying it now, man, and I'm not the kind of guy that says bold statements, but I will be the most skinned person at that competition out with yourself.
Aye.
And of course, any other precision boys doing it, because we'll all be peeled to the gills, boys. I know. Precision
walking
peeled.
anatomy
Precision
charts.
peeled. I
That's
can't
the
wait
goal.
for that, man.
It's going to be mega.
I'm just already starting to dream about like where we're going to be.
It's going to be beautiful.
Next year, because mate,
I cannot wait.
me, we'll get. Hopefully, Big Blair's going to do it. I'll have a host of other clients doing it. You'll have clients doing it.
It's beautiful. So
I'm already imagining, the fucking the days, the lead ups to it, the socials in terms of just like meeting up weekly for in persons, putting each other through. Mate,
that's truly the times you'll reflect back on 5-10 years down the line and go, that was.
I can't remember who I was watching. But they were talking about the prospect of competing, and they're saying that what really makes it is interaction surrounding it.
Absolutely.
And it totally is. But it's like, I crave that fucking mindset. See, when you're in the depth of prep and all you can think about is just getting to the next fucking task.
Aye.
It's not even that I think back to it, man. It's like, you feel like shit, but like,
there's an
you
element
just get it done, man.
And you enjoy it when you do get it done. It's like that's that kind of rewarding feeling at the end of the day going, I know what it took for me to get through that day, and I've just done it.
But on that note, I think it covers a wide surface here of that statement, because it just comes down to exposure.
Absolutely,
to the challenge. And like you were saying, can you imagine you launched this gym a year ago when your client base was up at the 130, the 140 mark, and then you were doing that now. Whereas now, the quality's improved, your efficiency's improved, your routine's improved, your self-talk's improved,
even
your
the
coaching
caliber
strategy's improved.
the caliber of client that I've drawn now. Like, I've got such a good team. Big up my CRMers. I've got such a good team. Just now, I'm like, the check-ins that are coming in, I'm like, hey, come on, team, don't give me stress. And yes, it's my job to ultimately take care of situations over the course of a week and get a client through a week as well. So I fully expect that. But the team I've got just now, I do believe the quality of client has massively increased, and I've genuinely got such an incredible amount of clients. Like, I'm
so
just seeing
exciting, mate.
It's amazing.
See, when I pull up a check-in and I've got some boy dripping in, bro,
it's just brilliant.
It excites me to
Everything's been
absolute
nailed
hell.
in a week. You're just like, that's just so good. Yeah. I love it, so I do. I absolutely love it. But
we've got a wee
exciting times
mock
ahead.
peak week that happening this week, don't we? Or you do?
Yes, indeed. Aye. So Chris, big trained by CS. We're doing a little mock peak on him. By no means going to push the boundaries with it. It's literally just a bit of data. We're 4 weeks out now from the granite. He's looking good. I still like to shift a few pounds here and there. I'm not going to get carried away with it. I think sometimes we can get caught up in chasing for condition that maybe we don't want to chase for, and then lose other aspects of his physique. Yeah. Like the glutes. If we shoot for the glutes. Yeah. Is that how much damage is that going to do in other aspects of his physique?
Can you remember? So obviously, people don't know this, but Calvin and I, we work closer together, obviously. But like, if Calvin's got any clients that pose and help, they'll get them with me. So I've been in all of Chris's posing. And last week we were going through a lot of his shots, and we're trying to work out, do you need glutes tucked, untucked? And I do think if we just suck him in needlessly, man, I think we just haul his lower back out too much.
You take it away. You take it away. If things start...
And I think it looks good with the glutes coming back, because they're really full through the hamstrings, and his waist is so tiny. His lats are insane, man. It's such a
hip
beautiful
extension,
shape.
and when you create that kind of hip extension there for the back, it's almost like you see the glute, the ham, the adductor, they all kind of tie in so nicely, whereas it just kind of disappears when you sort of round it off. But you've nailed it. His posing has come on incredibly well, and credit to Chris, he's been practicing.
Like, I've put that. He's been sending me as well. I forgot to tell you.
No, he said to me, he's like, Taylor wants 3 posing videos a week. I'll just send them you and all. I'm like, that's beautiful. So somebody like that. So hit up Taylor for the posing people. I'll tell you right now, he'll get you going.
Thank you.
But I will run a wee mock peak on Chris this week. So.
What a beautiful bloody segue, by the way, talking about peaks. I think we're going to actually cover that today, so we can.
Because I got a wee bit of a peak myself this week.
I know. Do you want to tell the man then what happened this week?
Calvin done a sexy.
It was so much fun, by the way. I had so much fun doing that, bro.
Bro, I was just wanting to go. I was like, God, he's got to tell me eat more food, because I could see it. The more food we're putting in over the course of the day, you were like, Calvin, you need to eat more. And I'm like, it was 11:30 at night. I'm usually in my bed for 9 o'clock, people. And he's like, you need to eat more. I'm like, 150 grams muffins at 11:30 at night. And I'm just like, he's like, just eat it. That's it.
Yep. So Calvin was just doing a bit of a diet. We'd planned some content at the back end to potentially tie in with Extreme, but just due to delays and whatnot, that had happened. Granted, we can still get some sick content, man, because the rate that we've been moving, you're still going to be very tight. But Calvin and his beautiful fiancée decided to do a wee photo shoot together with Sir Black Sheep. They both look absolutely amazing. Amazing.
Lindsay done.
I think we could maybe just loosely walk through what we've done now. Obviously, there'll be a lot of people out there that maybe don't know, what a peak week is or what a peak to a show is.
This is good as well because I've had a few questions from people about kind of peaking and stuff like that. So this will probably cover the questions when we're talking about this to a degree.
We'll just go through that, and if there's 100%. Any key points, we'll just butt in. But essentially, like a peak, the ideology behind a peak is that you bring forth the best version of yourself. You know, at the concluding point, right? You are trying to peak. You're trying to
bring the physique to life.
Yeah, you're trying to fucking climax at the end of the week. Do you know what I mean? And in order to do so, there's a couple of different variables that have to be managed. I think the first one's obviously going to be fatigue. You know, how tired is the body going into it? Because if a tired body's not going to be in the best body to load. It's going to be a muted and kind of stubborn physique.
Absolutely.
You need to manage.
You quite typically see that, by the way, just to touch on that. A lot of people, when they're peaking, obviously you're going to be putting carbohydrates in. You could put in, like you see it with people that maybe put in 500, 600, 700 gram of carb and they get a big drop off the next day in the scales and they're like, wow, my body's so responsive.
Dropping.
That is your body struggling to uptake the food because you are so fatigued.
Just offset inflammation.
Exactly. You want that to soak up, man, so you do.
I used to think that you wanted weight to drop.
Mate, 100%. You're like,
oh great, I'm down.
I'm so responsive. What is it they call it? Again, I'm what's the body's a furnace, bro.
Oh yeah,
churning, brother. Aye.
Body's a furnace.
Body's a furnace. I'm ripping through the carbs.
I used to think you wanted that. I mean, it took me a while to really grasp how to peak someone. Like I remember, like when I was peaking my first client, I was like throwing in loads of salt. I was like, put this in, bro, and put that in, bro. And I'm like, what am I doing that for? Just like
you can do. You can mess with too much shit.
Yeah.
This is the thing, okay? If that person is peeled, okay, if they're peeled the week before, it's going to be so hard to mess that up. It's so hard to mess that up. Taylor, I think that was a 6-7 week diet. Yep. I wasn't shredded to the bone. I wasn't stage lean, but we were pretty lean.
I think another 3 weeks, mate, would have been on stage.
Well, there we go. Do you know what I mean? So that put us in a position to do that little peak and have some fun with it. Yep. Do you know what I mean? But if you ain't ready, you cannot peak fat. It's so important to understand that. If you ain't ready and you've still got fat to come off, genuinely, it would be a case of don't touch a thing and dig yourself into the show. Do you know what I mean? Because the worst thing you can do is go, right, let's try and carb load, let's try and play with sodium. You could end up looking better. Worse, sorry. If you do that and you're not ready. Do you know what I mean? And even if you do that and you are ready, like, do you really need to change that many variables if you're already looking absolutely bang on the money?
And on that note as well, really ready.
Truly.
Yeah. Like the standard of bodybuilding is improving, which I absolutely love, mate. I love it. It.
Everybody's so skinned alive.
Yeah.
You don't get... See, if you look at shows from, like, even before I was bodybuilding, just as I was coming into it, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago and stuff like that, when I'm looking back at old shows, maybe like old NABA shows, there's maybe got 2 people on stage who are truly legit shredded. Now, everywhere you go, everybody's fucking diced to the bone. Yep. And especially in the natty federations as well.
You need to be,
natties, mate. You need to be. That's obviously a playing point there, being skinned alive. It's everybody, nobody's showing up soft anymore.
Yep.
Everybody's coming in.
But when it comes to peaking, though, I think you got to make sure that it's factored obviously towards the back end of the timeline. So you got to give yourself plenty of time. Typically for me, in terms of rate of loss, I'll usually, for every % of body fat that I can typically see, I'll usually give that like a week. So if someone's at about 20%, I'll give them 20 weeks. Granted, I like to give them like a cushioning of a couple.
That's a good gauge
for diet breaks,
speed bumps and stuff like that.
For diet breaks, for speed bumps, because mate, there's always going to be something that goes wrong.
Always.
I want people to consider a 20-week window, right? There's like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, I would say 20, 25 weeks is nice.
How many of you motherfuckers have had a 4 to 5 month window where shit hasn't hit the fan?
There's always going to be things.
Always,
man. Always going to be things.
You know, so like...
You get unwell. Do you know what I mean? My fucking family work issue. Ain't at all. There's injuries. Do you know what I mean? There's just so many factors.
Yeah. And so again, like,
give yourself enough time.
Give yourself enough time, but make sure that you're truly, truly ready.
Yep.
Even when you feel like you're ready, just make sure that you're conferring with your coach and making sure that you actually are. And then when it comes to the peak, you need to try and relax. I am so chilled out in peak week, mate.
Need to be,
but some people are like so frantic.
That's
that
one
could be
thing.
The worst thing you could do. Like the reason why peak week has came around is because of the duration you've been dieting. If it's all went to plan, you will be ready. And actively stressing yourself out is going to be beyond counterproductive to the body. Your digestion's going to go to shit. You'll perceive potentially be a little bit more watered over than normal. I mean, even things like sleep quality, like that's a big thing for me on peak week is trying to get as much sleep as what you can. as much sleep as what you can, even between meals.
Clone.
Yeah, I know, plenty of them. Even between meals, like, see, if, for example, when I was speaking Tyler for PCA last year,
Yeah.
you know, like, he was sat in the sofa, was falling asleep, and Hannah was like, during another meal, I was like, just leave him.
Let him be.
I was just let him be.
Don't touch him, man.
I was like, just let him chill, man, because you need that. It's so restorative than what you think.
Absolutely, mate. Stress can just destroy the physique. That's the thing, because everything's going to be seen. See, when you're peak body weight and you're fat and you're in the off season, like, and you're stressed out, you're not really going to see it within the physique. Stress, and when cortisol attacks you, man, and you are that lean, you see it straight away in every area. Pockets of fluid and whatnot. Body doesn't uptake your food. Like, keeping yourself in the most rest and digest state over the course of a peak week, which is what it's for, so as you can peak that physique, is so important, man.
And in terms of obviously peaking, personally speaking, I kind of seem to find, well, it depends on the individual. Yeah. I quite like to start reversing people out into a show. So let's say that you're competing on Saturday. Okay, let's say that we're Monday start of the week. I'll usually start tapering off cardio. Well, usually at that point, I think cardio should be out, like, in my opinion, a couple of weeks beforehand.
I agree.
Because usually, I think cardio is a great catalyst, but after a certain point, the body can just move too quickly.
Absolutely, man.
So personally speaking, I've only done maybe like 8 to 10 weeks worth of cardio without any prep that I've done, because my body just starts kind of like pushing it back. Every time I jump back on that bike, my scale weight goes up and up. Granted, I could probably be a little bit more mindful about the intensity of which I push, but mate, see, if you speak to Joanna when I'm like on prepping in my cardio, I'm like shouting in the room. I'm like, come on, motherfucker.
On the bike,
I'm like, right, one fucking minute.
Lance
I was like,
Armstrong.
fucking push it now. I was like, come on. I've got like techno on. I'm like sweating. I'm like,
that's how you do cardio, but don't get me wrong, you can overcook it to a degree, but that's how you do cardio. See, when you see people, the heart rate's at 100 and they're like, that is not cardio. Get yourself into a state where you are burning an adequate amount of calories here to get the most out of that. Do you know what I mean? It's demanding, it's tough, but I definitely do agree with you, man. Like for everybody who I prepped last year, their cardio, I don't think anybody done cardio less than 6 weeks out. Everybody's cardio was out, because the goal is to be able to do that. It generates, in my opinion, so much fatigue, and I actually think you get a better warranted response from the physique if you can manipulate the deficit via food and drive a higher step count, maybe 12k. Do you know what I mean? But ultimately giving yourself enough time to be able to pull that cardio early. If not, man, you're going to need to go to a peak week.
Something that I sort of go off a tangent, but something I'm actually quite curious about trying, and I want to try. I'm going to try it this year with a couple of boys. The ones that I really trust, because it's important that whatever I say, you do to the fucking T.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, I'm not with you holding your hand. Again, going off on a tangent, this is why we have check-in sheet, ladies and gentlemen. You're not too busy to fill in a check-in sheet. We have Sir Maguire over here that has work pissing out of every single orifice that he has.
Still filled out
every
daily.
single bloody week. Not missed. Okay, so come on to France. I had a handful of excuses this week, man, and I read them out to the client, and I was like, shite. I was like, come on, brother. I was laughing about it. I wasn't being an arsehole about it. I was laughing. I was like, come on. I was like, next your fucking dogs at your check-in sheet, brother.
Your dog get it.
But that's why it's important that we log in
Dog
and manage all this sort of stuff. But anyway, back to what I was saying about the cardio is I want to actually try more of a graded approach this time. So see if I've got a body that's quite metabolically advanced at the start. I actually want to try and see how little cardio we can get away with from a beats per minute perspective. And then see when we start to kind of up the ante, we could potentially look to reduce it. But at the same time, you could flip that in its arse, start cardio at an escalated heart rate, whereby you're, because mate, see if I look at Stairmaster right now, bro, my heart rate's up at like 160.
100%.
And then the issue that I have to combat the inflammation that's derived from the cardio is then minimise the intensity.
Aye, absolutely.
You know?
That's naturally going to happen, given peak body weight coming into
And as well, aerobic fitness improves.
Yep, 100%.
How many times have you been pounding
Absolutely.
bike?
Mate.
Heart rate's up at 130, 140, back in the prep 120. You're like, you can't, your legs are numb, bro.
100, it's done. You like, in order to get that heart rate up, you're going to need to drive a hell of a lot more intensity. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's a great way to go about it. Your cardio, so obviously it's less low intensity, steady state, not low effort. Okay, but you being able to ultimately go on that machine when you are in a spot where your peak off season, that's naturally going to occur. Okay, because not that you're unfit, you're just heavier. Do you know what I mean? It's more stress going through the body, so you're going to get a bigger caloric demand there, in terms of calories burned via the cardio at the very, very start. So I think, like, even at the beginning, man, you can even fucking drive. Like, cardio's pretty much been out the full of Chris's prep. I just said to him a couple of weeks ago, trickling a wee bit post workout. Do you know what I mean? And then it's coming out after this mock peak, and it's the same for everybody else. If you can do as minimal cardio as possible, I do believe it brings a fresher look to the physique. Obviously, of course, the only other manipulation would be, but a lot of people go like, oh, I'd rather eat more food, just give me more cardio, but it doesn't always work like that because cardio generates so much inflammation, can generate so much fatigue. The legs can start to disappear if you're a bodybuilder, not a men's physique athlete like me. You don't want that. But you know what I'm talking about?
I used to hate when all these people, all these bodybuilders would say, oh, twist this dial, twist that dial, but like, there's so many different little like crossovers that you just need to be so aware, and it's never as black and white as what you think.
And I get it as well when people like obviously we're talking about people back in the day as well, they'll just be like, do your fucking cardio, do you know what I mean? Like, don't be scared to do a bit of cardio. But if you can get away, and if you've got your client in a position at the start of prep where they're lean enough to maybe have 2 free cardio sessions per week, 20 minutes here or there, or no cardio at all, do it, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't need to be, that's the thing, like people take it to the stage and they're like, if I've suffered the most, that means I'm the best on stage. No, it's not. You don't want to be the one that has to suffer the most. We're all going to embrace it.
I can't remember who I was speaking about, but like the whole prospect, the whole this is like what this kind of oxymoronic about bodybuilding, as you say, how we speak about stress management, right, and how we want to try and make things as manageable as possible to keep the body and the mind at ease, all this sort of malarkey. But then people are actively like begging to be beasted. Like, give me zero carbs, brother. Give me hours of cardio on the Stairmaster whilst I'm wearing fucking sandbags like fucking strapped around my tits, and I've got a 10-kilo weight vest attached to my bossack.
Shoeless on the Stairmaster, or barefoot on the Stairmaster. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to go to that realm. We understand you want to suffer, you're a bodybuilder and all that, but if you don't need to, don't. You're going to bring a much fresher physique. But
people, please see your first prep. That will be the most demanding.
100%.
The first prep I did with Andy, I was doing like one 50-minute bit of cardio in the morning, one post-workout. Every post-workout 40 minutes, bro. Every single night, mate, hypo. I remember like having to hold on to the stairs, like eyes closed, like the fucking sweat was dripping off me, chalk white. You go to squeeze your hands and they're just numb and you can't feel anything.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I was an hour and 30 minute my first prep on cardio. And that's what I used to do. I used to stand in the Stairmaster, put on the Rocky soundtrack, see all the Rocky songs, and just close my eyes and go for 90 minutes.
I just close my eyes I'd do 60 seconds, my eyes shut. I'd be like 60 steps. 60 steps. I'm like, okay, there's 1 minute. I'll open my eyes. And then what I'd do is I'd do 2 lunges. I'd be like, fucking give my legs a break. And then I'd go back to close eyes. And then lunges, I'd just rinse and repeat. So I'd worked out. In order for me to do that, I'd do like 30 like revolutions of the eyes closed, 30 revolutions of the lunges. And I would count them off in my head. And that's actually a really good point. Fucking hell, Calvin, why do we do this, man? We're just scatterbrains onto the right, but we'll come back to it. What I was saying is like, see, when you're on prep, you end up like, I know the exact circumference of the walk. So I'm like, see if I go on that walk, bro, that's 5,000 steps.
You know everything. Everything is perfect. You know what you've got to. You ultimately at that stage, your day should be that routine. That you should probably need to wear a watch to track your steps. You should know what steps you're going to hit with what you're doing on that day. But Taylor's absolutely right on what he said there. Your first prep is going to be the most demanding because you're essentially trying to shift body fat that's never been shifted before. And when you're trying to do that, and then when you reverse back out, body fat distribution is completely different. Like since the first time I get shredded, it was the toughest, most demanding thing. I think it was like 1,200 calories, 90-minute cardio. Now, I don't even need to touch anywhere near that. Now that I've got the fat off, gradually push back up, you're in a spot where it's not going to be like it's easy, but it's going to be nowhere near
your first reverse is always the hardest as well. I'm sorry, guys.
Just when I heard last week,
see for your introduction to bodybuilding, you're fucked. Like if you... I just wish some bodies had the balls to go at it a second time.
100%, because the first time experience is always going to be a rough time.
See, my first prep, I'm not going to lie to you, after I was a bit like, I loved the feeling of fucking doing well, and this I loved the elation of knowing that I'd given everything my all, mate, because it's so hard to replicate that feeling. But like the grind, I mean, even when I think about the next prep, I get nervous because I know what I need to do to get there.
100%, mate. Even just like things like when you're walking up to the stair, when you get into a training session and you're fatigued and your arms feel heavy and your legs feel weak, you actually get nervous going into the gym because you're like, I've got to put myself through this. But there's a part of you as well where you kind of have that sadistic excitement because you enjoy it a wee bit. But you need to enjoy that.
Again, this is when I think visualization imagery is super handy though, because I implement like a split second decision. It sounds really cringe, but like see whenever I'm absolutely done in, I just don't think. So see if something come to mind, I just do it. Just move. Just do it. And see when you repeat that, it becomes more organic. and then you stop thinking. But that's the issue on prep, is people think too much.
They have this
I can't do this. No, it's going to be so hard. But see, when you do it, it's not that. It's not as hard as what you think.
100%. I couldn't agree more with you. People will sit and have this conversation with themselves in their head. They'll maybe get up, maybe they've got to go and do fasted cardio. They'll pop their fat burners, and they'll be sitting there, and I've seen this before, and I've seen it with myself as well, in terms of like having a conversation with myself.
It's me on
like,
prep before cardio,
drinking my coffee, and I'll be like, could I just maybe do my cardio post workout? Maybe I could do it later. Maybe I could double up tomorrow. Don't even let that conversation start occurring with yourself in your head. Maybe you're at the end of a session, you've got bicep work to tag on, you're like, just maybe hit my bicep down my leg day or whatever. No, don't have the conversation, just do it, man. See that split second thing, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you can do in prep. Do you know what I mean? Because
don't think, just move.
That's beautiful. Don't think, just move.
Yep. I think the longer you dwell on it, the harder it becomes.
Absolutely, because you're creating this thing where you're almost building something up against it. And something so small, like going and doing that cardio, which is demanding, but you create this massive thing.
And the thing for me is I will always try and be as logical as what I can. Yeah. So, for example, when I'm having those harder days, okay, I'll look at obviously how sleep quality's been, how scale weight shifts has been, how productivity's been, and then I'll be like, right, this looks like a bag of dicks, man. I'm clearly fucked, but you got work to do. And you benefit from showing up. So just go in with a blank mind, give it your all. But at that point, mate, I'm not even thinking about logbooking. I'm just going in, I'm training hard, and I'm getting the fuck out.
So I said to Chris as well, man, just there, I've like pulled everything down. Pretty much every single thing is no more than 2 working sets. Even some things will get adjusted to 1 working set this week as well.
45 minutes,
like, bro, just get in there, move the weight, fuck the logbook, shift the load, take the muscle to failure, and we're about to start pulling back. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's about at the end of prep, at the dog end. Do you know what I mean? The muscle's retained anyway when you're at this stage. If you've made it through the prep, you've kept that intensity throughout. You're just at a stage now where it's just like, get to the finish line. Do you know what I mean? So you're absolutely right. You're 100% correct in that. At the very dog end of a prep, it's just the logbook can just annoy you. That can just become a stressor because you're like, fuck, man, that doesn't. This weight, this 20 kilo feels like 100 kilo this week. Do you know what I mean? So it is. It's just it's a process you need to ultimately go through. But you're absolutely right in what you said at the very beginning there. The first time's always the most demanding because you're like, what's going on with my body? Why, like the way
I also think as well as a seasoned competitor, because there's a lot of boys that watch this that have competed a lot of time. You feel the pressure after doing well. Do you? Yeah, you really feel the pressure after doing well, man. I can think. I mean, like I'm just trying to think of the top boys in Scotland. I mean, Andy Scott, he'll be feeling the pressure. We've got young Josh Dougal. He's going for some big shows.
Now you've got to go and replicate.
You got to go and replicate it, man. The eyes are on you. Do you know what I mean? Like, and people want to see you trip up. You know, so you got to make sure that you're delivering it better yet. And sometimes what's an absolute bitch about bodybuilding, man, is it's like you got to deal with the cards that are present with you at the moment.
100%.
So everyone wants to have a perfect prep, but not everyone can have a perfect prep. I was chatting away to one of my mates, Eddie Chip. He's a IFBB pro.
Big up Eddie boy.
Lovely lad. And he was planning on competing this year. Yeah. But just through bouts of illness, sickness, injuries, he's like, man, Taylor, I'm not going to do it. And I was sat there thinking, I was like, look, you are a professional. And if I was a professional, I would want everything to be absolutely perfect.
Absolutely.
Why? Because you are stepping on stage with the best of the best of the best of the fucking world. And psychologically, I need to make sure that everything aligns beautifully, or at least as well as it can be, to ensure that mentally I'm as primed and as well as what I can be going into it.
It needs to be. Do you know what I mean? It's like a professional football player going and trying to play. Do you know what I mean? A game against
it's a different challenge, I think.
Absolutely.
It's a different challenge because when I was first competing, I was like, right, get to the stage and do well. And now it's like, get to the stage and just do even better than what you've ever done before. But when that ceiling's already higher, you're like, right, now
logically you need to think.
And then you don't just have the pressure in the prep, you have the pressure in the off season.
No, 100%, man.
You know?
And I was actually talking to Gerard about this, Mankind.
Dude, he looks fucking his back.
I'm telling you right now.
He could definitely be one of the
Olympia's coming, man, for him. He can win a pro show.
Yeah.
It just needs to be the right show. When I say the right show,
how old is he?
I think Gerard, he's older than what he looks. He looks young. No disrespect, G. I think somebody told me maybe late 30s. Which is insane.
God, millionaire!
looks younger than both
No
of us.
way.
He looks amazing. The guy looks amazing. He's the coolest guy. And he was
I can't believe that.
He was like, see, no.
He's cool as a cucumber, eh?
He's so cool, mate.
He's an absolute G.
He's just the most chill guy. He just loves it. He loves the grind. He loves the graft. But I was in for posing with him, and I was like, "What's the difference now? What do you feel from when you've went from amateur to pro that season there?" He's like, "Oh, nothing gets missed. Off-season cardio, off-season meals, every grammar, right, everything. Do you know what I mean? Nothing gets missed now. This is the difference between amateur off-season, but you can miss a beat. You can maybe go a wee bit extra on the old off-plan meals. You maybe miss a cardio session here or there, which I don't suggest if you still want to be a very good amateur, of course. Do you know what I mean? Project what you want to achieve. So if you want to be a pro, then
be a pro
act
before
like
you're a pro.
Before you're a pro, aye.
Yep.
But he's like everything. Nothing gets missed a beat. The sleep, all that. In fact, he says if I was to have a poor night's sleep, I'll make that all be naps during the day. Like stuff like everything needs to be perfect, which I get. You try to shoot for the Olympia now. Do you know what I mean? But that is a difference. And Eddie Chip, he's got to be in the same path as well. But it's like I can't like the time
and I think people need to realise it's part of the bigger picture.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, he's not going to beat because of this and that. But there's a lot of money at stake when these boys are getting
100%,
are getting a lot of things paid for, sponsorships, endorsements,
absolutely,
your clients.
Absolutely.
Like, there's so much
that's going to project onto them. Is how well they do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And that's the thing as well. Like I do think again, sorry for going off on a tangent, but I think a lot of people see coaches, athletes just as like run-of-the-mill folk, but see when you start to look into how many people you manage, the implications of us and our sponsors, like obviously we're blessed to be sponsored by Pit Stop. Shout out to Blair Conacher, welcome to the team, my boy.
Big Blair, Big Blair Bell. I love it.
I'm buzzing for that, man. I'm buzzing for him.
Come on,
shame he's a dickhead. Nah, he's the boy, mate. Welcome. But please, everyone in Aberdeen, just keep on using my code, right? Oh, a really good couple of code uses. So Taylor 10, please.
That's crazy. So it is. No. He's done you there. I know.
But no, man.
Commission.
I know, man. I know. He sat there like, fucking push it to the limit. Oh, it's fucking money.
Big amount of protein on the table.
I don't know about you, but I'm getting all these like bloody Narcos-esque like memes on my
Instagram. Why is that popping up? Are you the same? Aye, all over the place. Like I don't know why that's coming up. Yeah, like, it's crazy.
I love this song.
It's so good, mate. It's so good.
Replicate it. We'll have to find it. Kind of the Narcos style of song. I can't even.
And even the Push It to the Limit's good as well.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Push it to the limit.
Right, well, we're at 52 minutes now. We're obviously going to cover. We're going to cover a bit of peeking. I want to know what the gabbing for the first 10. So
true.
So do you want to quickly just go back to peeking at least a couple of the variables, and then we'll just go into like a bit of a Q&A.
100%.
A Q&A.
So
obviously
you go for it.
Cardio. So we talk about fatigue management. Food wise, okay, it needs to be food sources that the body's typically had in the past.
Throughout
Can I say something actually? This is an interesting point. And Calvin, hopefully you'll know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So Calvin messaged me last Sunday, and you're in the bin.
Oh, I was ruined.
He was in the bin.
Ruined.
Calvin and me. I think that I think how I manage you and how you manage me are very compatible.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why we got on so well. Now, Calvin is an advocate of clean refeeds, being sensible, but Calvin was in the bin last week and he messaged me saying, Taylor, what do you think about a bit of dirty food? And when he spoke, his voice was trembling. He sounded in the bin, not gutted, just ruined from a busy week because the gym was moving, the diet had been concluded. We adjusted his food with the intention of just kind of clearing him out up until the shoot, but his body was just running away from him. So he was like, Taylor, he communicated what you should have done. And I was like, right, bro, leave it with me. Because he was suggesting a bit of an off-plan meal. And the week prior, we'd ran some sushi, but that had actually related to some light GI stress. So I was like, right, I don't know if this is the best thing to do.
That was my, I was like, I felt ruined. You increased the food and I was like, my arms still feel so heavy. I can't retain a pump. I said, I'm going into this shoot, I'm going to be flat as anything. I was like, bro, start just whacking an off-plan meal. And you were like, let's have a bit of fun.
I was like, let's just think. I was like, Calvin never would ever suggest anything like this. Calvin's clearly ruined. And this is again, this is like the value of work with someone for a while and getting to know them on a deeper level is that I feel like I know a lot of things without you even having to tell me, just based on how you look, 100%. How you speak, how you're projecting. Okay, and I think that's what makes a good coach.
Absolutely,
You're reading
mate.
like the finer details, and that
Absolutely.
takes time. You can't, I can't give you a model for that. I can't.
We've worked together for a year now, do you know what I mean?
No,
So
man,
this
no.
is something you've been able to...
No, and it needs to be organic. You're not a fucking psychologist, so stop trying to act like you're a psychologist. Like, just have these conversations. Like, just be a human.
That's all you need to be, is a fucking
and
human.
so Calvin anyway was like, right, I'm going to throw it through a section of pizza, and I was like, no.
I don't even eat pizza.
It doesn't even eat pizza.
I don't even like pizza.
Does it? So what we did
I was
is,
like, just get sodium in it.
so
I cannot get full.
I was like, bear with me, leave it with me. So within like 20 minutes, I had a new kind of like sheet ready for him, covered all of his food.
Sorted out.
So we had done a high diet in the past, but then that had pretty much ended up spiking body weight by about a kilo or so.
Aye.
So based on where Calvin was, I had a rough idea that I wanted him between 91 and 92. And I was like,
101,
right.
102.
Was it 100, 102?
Cut
Sorry,
me
101.
10
Sorry, I keep doing that.
10
I've
kilo
done that
muscle.
before.
He put a post up
I've
on
done that
Instagram. He's
before.
like 90 kilo versus 90 kilo. I was like, bro, it's 100 versus 100.
I'm sorry.
You're taking 10
I'm
pounds
just trying
of
to make
muscle, 10
myself feel
kilo
bigger. I'm
muscle.
sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
On you go, sorry, crack on, bro.
But yeah, 100 to 102, I think that's what I said. So I was like, right, do the fucking maths here, Taylor. What would this food typically replicate? And so we're running maybe like was it a 500 to 600 carb load last time? So I was like, okay, well we know that his body's running through him, so we're gonna have to get fats in. But the Calvin's problem is getting the stomach, keeping the stomach tight, keeping the food volume low. So I was like, right, we know muffins are good, square bars are good.
Yep.
We know that you like your rices, your creamy rices.
Easy work.
So we just went to fucking town. Now, throughout the day,
I still feel sick.
I know, but the thing is like these are foods that we've had.
Absolutely.
So we know that these are all going to digest well. It's nothing erratic. There's nothing that's going to be particularly too harsh on the GI. So we loaded that in.
Yep.
But we were checking throughout the day.
Aye.
Because again, I didn't know if
need
this
to
was
be-
going to touch the sides or not.
100%.
And I'm glad that we did, because when I seen you at the back end of the day, you were drier and you were fuller, and there was still scope to fill.
100%.
And that's the big thing about peaking, is that you need to
Absolutely.
overcook it.
Yeah. If you go to bed and you look amazing, you're going to be probably flat and shit in the morning. If you go to bed and you're a bit softer, a little bit watery, you're going to shift that fluid overnight. You're probably going to wake up bang on the money.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done.
And that's exactly
12
it.
o'clock at night.
That's exactly it.
Scranning muffins.
And then my only concern was going to be just the water retention associated with the aggressive nature of the load.
Yeah.
So at the back end of that, we just put in a serving of Peak Max, some vitamin C. They put anything else in Peak Max? Vitamin C.
What was
We
it?
pulled water
Diazide?
back a little bit. Yeah.
I've never used a diuretic.
We pulled
Peak Max
water back
does
a little bit at the back end of the day. And then upon wake, it was just a big bit of water. A kind of heavy
Trickled in
carb
over the
meal
course
pretty
of the
much,
morning,
and that
aye.
was just you until the end of the day. And I was really happy with the fullness.
The fullness was incredible, so it was really good, and that's what I wanted to take to it. The kind of photo shoot I'd done, it wasn't really, if anybody's seen it on my Instagram, it was kind of more for like me and Lindsay and stuff like that. Do you know that? Well,
And for the memes when Calvin's all old and saggy and
you want to look back and go, look at your, say the grandwains, well, if I make it to that age, look at your gran and
Granddaddy, that's disgusting.
I better not show them. I'll tell them about it. I'll not show them.
I know. Lindsay's there in her fucking, her fucking lounge underwear. Like,
but no, it worked absolutely perfect. So it did, and that's what I'll say as well. So for me, I was like, are we going to do a pay or not? I was like, Taylor, I can't retain any food. Should we just fucking fire in an off-plan meal? And we're like, no, let's have some fun with this, and then he absolutely nailed it. But that is one massive thing I will say, especially when you're peaking people for athletes for stage and stuff like that. If you've went the full prep, okay, and people are always like, oh, I got 5 guys refeed and stuff like that, each to their own, okay. But when I'm seeing smaller humans, maybe guys that weigh, I don't know, like 170 pounds, and people will try to smash 5 guys in them and stuff like that. That is what data is that going to give you? Use a designated calorie controlled high day for the amount of carbohydrates. Look at the data, see how much they retain from that. And even with females as well, smashing a 5 guys, like, you need to be
too
careful.
much for women, mate.
It's not Mark
give
Hector.
them a couple of rice cakes, bro. I'm sorry, girls, but like,
You're not
y'all just
coaching.
need a couple of rice cakes,
100%,
man.
you're not coaching
how
Mark
come I
Hector.
can't have that?
You
Because the overall level of muscle you have in your leg is that, in your body is that on my leg, darling.
It's crazy. And then with the withdrawal there as well, you've got the potential GI stress, bloating, do you know what I mean? And again, like the sodium intake on that, how much sodium's going in, like there's no data to be given from
What's your
eating that.
preferred means of salt management around the...
So for me, I've played with this before as well, and now I'm kind of more in the camp of, to be honest, probably just keeping sodium fluid at baseline.
Yeah.
I've played with it before, and don't get me wrong, depending on the correct person, I think you can bring a nice look, but also I think if you manipulate salt and water too harshly, or you maybe waterload and you pull back on salt to opt for like a drier look, that person can wake up and they can look very flat, and then it's a case of, right, I need to get them full now for stepping on stage. And don't get me wrong, when you put sodium and water and stuff like that back in the next morning, it does bring a bit of pop back to the physique. But as well, if you just keep that at baseline and don't play with it, if they look good, that's what I'd always say, if you see a client's look on peak week, they're looking good, the sodium and fluid, maybe they've had 3 litres of fluid, however many grams of salt, up to the afternoon, maybe they train and you look at them and go, they look fucking amazing. That is the best day I've looked all week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the amount of meals that they've consumed on the lead up to that. I'm going to look at what sodium they've had, what water they've had, and I'm going to replicate that look on stage. Do you know what I mean? But I think when you really start to play with salt and water, which I have done before, I've done big dry outs and stuff like that, and I do think it does bring a nice grainy look.
Needs to be for the right person though, because
definitely.
some people flatten out
Some people,
profoundly.
So I done
it doesn't even correlate to body weight either though, because
absolutely not,
like
man.
when I was trying to pick Tyler, I was starting to kind of dry him out, pull water, pull salt back a little bit, flattened him out to fuck, couldn't fill him up. But see, as soon as I just started putting it back to baseline, wasn't anything meant. It was just like 2 gram a meal. So I think I went from like 2 grams a meal to maybe like 1 gram a meal. I think his water was starting to get pulled back at that point then. And I was looking at him and I was like, you're starting to look worse. He was actually starting to see more of a sag over his hips. And I was like, right, we need to start putting more. We need to start putting everything back to where it was. And as soon as I restored it, the physique was there, and I was like, bang. And at that point, the good thing is, man, is that your decision making can be adjusted. It can be very malleable because the body will shift over a couple of hours.
Yeah, 100%. And like the changes to a physique over the course of a peak, man.
But that's exactly why you fucking get people checking in all the time.
Exactly. You need to have the check-ins consistently, so you do. And ultimately as well, kind of when you're running, you're starting to put in carbohydrates as well. You'll see a lot of people saying like, oh, I'm going to get dry and I'm going to get full. It's 2 different processes. So as you're filling up with carbohydrates, fill them up, dry them out. Do you know what I mean? So you'll see a lot of people like, I'm getting full and I'm getting dry. It's impossible to create that because carbohydrates going to hold water. Do you know what I mean? So it's a harder process. So for me, typically what I would do previously, I probably still will utilise this with clients, because I done it with my big client Jared last year, natural guy, insane, looked absolutely insane, mock peaked him, done a bit of water and sodium manipulation, looked like shit the next day. His veins were like, we couldn't bring back that vascularity, that pop, so we kept it more at baseline. Up the next day, Jared, I remember you had 1.5 litres of water. I remember you had 2 grams salt on that first meal. That was oats. Let's have that 2 hours before state. Boom. The guy was fucking. But other people I've had, such as my client Cal, men's physique guy last year, we actually pulled back a little bit on salt and water, and the look was guaranteed.
Same
it was very nice. Sodium out first and then water to follow, because where sodium goes, water obviously follows. So that creates that nice little dry touch. And when he woke up in the morning and then we started to reintroduce the sodium fluid, it was just great. The guy's chest was striated and everything. But for Jared, who's actually more heavily muscled than Callum, he looked like shit. He flattened off so much.
Crazy, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't reflect to the muscle.
100%.
Doesn't reflect to the muscle.
It does not at all. No. And I was looking at him like,
and that's the same with carb loads as well.
See what you were saying about Tyler there? He looked soft and watery.
Yeah.
And carb loads as well. You're right.
Yeah. Some
some
big bodies just don't need as much food as 100%. What you expect.
That's what I'm saying to Chris. Big up, Chris. I know you're looking forward to the food, bro, this week.
He expected a big hooded load.
Bro,
he doesn't need.
Tell me how many grams. I'm like, mate.
See when I'm seeing him in the studio, mate. He's looking dry. He's looking round.
It's not going to take a lot. He's going to be upset when he hears that. It's not going to take a lot, mate. You'll be getting 300 gram of carb. Bikini girl peak week.
What would you rather? 300 gram of carb shop appropriate, or 500, 600 gram carb shop like a bag of milk?
Absolutely. This is exactly what I said to him. I said, the less you need to eat to get full on peak week, the better.
Yep.
Less digestive stress, less food having to go in. It sounds nice. I want more food going through my body because I'm starving. But you're eating
Trust
for
me,
a
you won't
purpose.
like waking up looking like a bag of milk, man. Like that.
No. I'm going to be very moderate with it, because I know how his body ultimately, like from running high days, again.
Does he hold?
He holds. Yeah. He does hold a bit. So he holds a bit, and that wasn't from a lot of carbohydrates. So I know roughly what we're going to run here. Granted, he is a lot leaner than the last high day we ran a few weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. So obviously that's going to be different again. So I'll try it.
And what do you do with your boys when they train, training-wise?
Training-wise, I will start to manipulate volume, not like, it's what a lot of people will be like, right, 6 weeks out, manipulation volume, I'll get feedback. How are you feeling in the gym, man? Are you fatigued? This week, he's now starting to drag his arse. I said, Chris, we're pulling everything down to 2 walking sets. Some movements such as, I'll even start pulling out like next week, RDLs and stuff like that. I will just pull that movement out. It's not worth the risk. So definitely more demanding movements. You've not got body fat there to essentially support you being able to go and do that movement. You've not got the weight there. So things like that will just be getting shifted. Do you know what I mean? And you're really talking, of course, still compound movements to a degree, but there's going to be
And what about training in relation to show day?
Training in relation to show day. So as we are coming down, I'll typically have 4 sessions scattered over the course of the week. For males and females, that will be a little bit different. Obviously, final leg day, I hate to be so broy with this, but 5 to 7 days final leg day. Trickling into the actual week itself. For females, when we are putting in some carbs, and it's not a carb load, so with females as well, you don't need to fucking smash a female with 1,000 grams of carbs, okay? They're fine. Give them a couple of hundred. Always opt to linear load a female. Gradually push them up day to day to day and just see what holds nicely and then just hold them there. Females, I'll typically put in some glute work towards the back end of their peak week just to shuttle some of that food about. Just like fucking 2 sets, 15 to 20 reps on the glute drive, something like that. But for a male, I will typically run maybe 4 sessions over the course of the week. Final leg day will maybe fall a week before the show. Then we'll do like a push day, a pull day, and then an upper day. Do you know what I mean? We'll have a biceps, triceps, delts, just like 2
is the
sets.
upper session closest to the show usually?
Yeah. Just to shuttle that last bit of food about into the muscle. What about yourself? How would you approach?
So it depends on the person. Like you said about leg day, like I find that some boys need a leg day a little bit closer. Some ladies need it a little bit further. Personally speaking, if I give my legs like about a week, I find that they kind of flatten out a little bit. So like a 5 day mark for me is good. Where some boys they need that time. Like for example, see when you get a boy doing a deload, they check in the next week and like, what the fuck happened to your legs? You see it a lot, right? Crazy. So, you know, if I've got someone like that, then I'll give them the time. Whereas if I need someone that needs a little bit of pop in them, bro, I wouldn't even be out. And again, a lot of people are going to scrunch their face and say that's stupid. And I don't want a big session, but if, for example, I've got a boy, let's say a classic client, Liam Burke, insane physique. Liam's lower needs to come up. No, crazy. His lower is really good, but it needs more. But Liam, for example, he benefits from training legs close in proximation to his check-in, like round, bubbly, inflamed. So, for example, someone such as him, I'd probably just want to go into the gym the day before the show and just do 3 sets, 12 to 15 light leg extension, hard contractions, drive blood nutrients into there without damaging anything. And I find that the residual inflammation settles and it gives a bit more of a pop whilst keeping all the detail. Even with myself, whenever I've been competing, I'll always train upper actually the day before. It's still well away from failure, but I'll just drive all the nutrients into it. And I always find as well that the look after training day for me is better. So that's the way that I'll do that. But it's person dependent. But I actually do find getting food and blood and shuttling a little bit of water about the body really does help.
100%.
And I do think as well, you can be a little bit more aggressive with food as well because your output's just that little bit higher.
You're using more of the food.
Yes, you're using more of it.
100%. That a lot of people are scared to train the day before show.
I love it, man.
Mate, I feel merit to it.
Especially when dactones in, you're sweating like fuck. You're training sweats, you're all ammonia. Woohoo!
This podcast is PG. Don't use the T. I'm only kidding. Nah, absolutely. But
got a bit of trend going in soon, by the way.
Trend balloon going in soon.
You got my bloods back.
Yeah. Oh,
couldn't believe
it was good.
Every time I get my bloods, mate, I'm like,
am I dying? Are they good?
Amazing, mate.
You never
They're flawless. The only thing that was out was my LDL. But it was sat 0.3 under the realm. So it's
back red yeast rice as the bottom man. But that's class.
I just have a bit of salmon in my diet again. It's fine, bro. Salmon, but yeah, I'm going to start.
Tread below the sandwiches going in.
I've got the Granite City coming up, boys. I got to get myself a good nick for that.
Up, man.
I know. I've already been layering the Milano tan, getting a bit of a colour to me.
My boy.
Leading after you, sir. Leading after you. Leading after you.
That's brilliant, man. That's good. I'm actually excited to see what you're like because I know you're maybe.
I'm going to pull in hard for it and then fill up hard for it.
That's what I said. I was like, bro, just go pro veg the week before that. Just trust me, I'm like 2,000 grams of carbs.
I'm pushing that. I'm pushing diet hard this week. So my body's like really settled at 111.
GH super draw 2,000 grams of carb.
Yeah, something along those lines. Genuinely, something along those lines. But I'm gonna pull back hard this week. So if I'm sat at like 111 just now, I would say if I can get down to like 105 over the next 4 weeks, mate, I'd be happy. 2 kilos a week, like I'll pull that, mate.
Easily.
I'll pull that.
Just have like, and even just in between, man, just have like extreme low days. See if you need to just run a fucking really deep low day. Just dig yourself.
It's nice to like have something to like shoot for, man.
Absolutely, man.
I always say to my clients, like, because I can relate. Like I fucking hate dieting for the sake of just dieting, mate. Bro. I don't enjoy it, man. I don't enjoy the preemptive, I'm going to be hungry. I'd much rather just eat and get big. But you got to do it, man. You got to do it. Just shut up. Grit your teeth, get it done, man.
See, for all these people that just constantly want to grow and stuff like that as well, remember, you need to be in a position to grow. If you've overcooked the off-season, you've got too fat, you've got too soft, you need to...
And young guys as well, look, I wish I knew what I knew 5 years ago than what I know now. Yeah. But like, you guys can get sloppy, you guys can get fat, you guys can gain a bit, right?
Get a bit softer.
But like, you guys need to learn when the body's tapping out.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you
Absolutely.
just keep on getting heavier and it's just shit weight, you're probably
You've got
went at
to
the
pull
wrong
that off.
pace, you know, and you're probably going to pull the fat off because you'll be in a more responsive position. You know, I'm now coming to terms with a lower rate of gain is better. You know, even though I see it and predict on my clients, I still have this emotional attachment because I want to be a freak.
Aye.
I want to be huge. I want to be massive. I don't just want to be like big. I want to be
100%,
like
mate,
Christ,
300
Taylor
pounds.
Johnson's big.
Aye.
You know? But it's just like a hard pill to swallow, man. Like, you're never as big as what you think. You never grow as quick as what you think, unless you're a genetic freak. Shout out to you guys, dickheads. You know? But anyway, Calvin,
You're absolutely
we're
right,
like
bro.
pretty much coming up to an hour on.
Should we?
Do I just quickly go for a couple of questions?
Aye, we'll do a
Don't
couple of
just do that,
questions.
bro.
We'll do a couple
I think
of
we've got a good bit
questions.
of peeking stuff covered, man. There's still definitely bits. If you want to learn it a little bit more, Calvin and I both have
Drop us.
consultation slots available.
Oh, yes.
Just give us a wee message, give us a wee DM.
Drop us a DM, people. We'll sort these out. We will go into a little bit more depth again.
Right, we'll do one fun, one education.
Perfect.
Right, do you want me to ask you the questions and then you can ask me the
Aye,
questions?
or even if you want to ask them, we can both have a wee elaboration on them. But we think you go for it. You
Right,
go, bro.
so
One for one.
I think that's actually quite appropriate considering where we're at today. So, do either of you plan on bringing on a second coach? Obviously, you've got Lindsay, but like, you know, how would you kind of segment what you do and what Lindsay does?
Great question. So with me and Lindsay, it's not like she kind of walks under me. There is not a detachment. Of course, we're both kind of representing CRM Physique here, but it's not like I've not got like anything in place in terms of like, see what you would say, maybe you'd see coaches come on, they maybe for every client they take on, there'll be a fee to be paid to it doesn't work like that with me and Lindsay. I was just getting Lindsay up and cooking, get her educated as much as possible, and then basically bring her on as a CRM Physique coach, which she's just kind of built and established up herself. But most certainly, yes, in good time, this is something I've spoke about. I do look to build the brand up within the next year and a half, maybe 2 years, to have 5 coaches at CRM Physique, something like that. But this is the thing about taking on a coach. It's one of the hardest things to do. Do you know what I mean? I got Lindsay from scratch. I said, Lindsay, you're doing this, you're doing that course, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're learning this, you're learning that. Every single thing, like, if I was to take a coach on board, they need to project the same service that I'm projecting to my clients. I would need to see how they operate, check it, everything. I need to be able to trust them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because this is our baby. Precision's your baby. CRM's my baby. Do you know what I mean? And to bring another coach on, it can be a massive risk if they're not willing to uphold that service. But I've got to be someday in the pipeline, probably within the next 6 months to a year. They know who they are. I'll talk to you about it thereafter.
That's great.
But definitely at least in the next 2.5 years, the gym builds up and all that. I'd love to see 4 or 5 quality coaches with CRM Physique. Yourself?
I would say the same, but my issue is just trust, man.
Trust.
Like, that's the thing with me, mate, is I am like incredibly, it really takes a lot for me to trust. Like, my circle, as you know, Calvin, is incredibly small, man. And I've like put so much into this. And there's prospects that I see, and then I just get let down.
You just can't have it tarnished.
I can just see it. I was like, you know what, they might be a good fit. And then something happens, and I'm like, it's a one strike policy, man. Like, I'm not willing to risk it, man. And I would love to, because it would take the heat off me. Ideally, if I could, you know, maybe eventually just dial in on the competitors and have someone take care of the lifestyle. Then that would make me really happy. But again, mate, I speak to people. They tell me, "Oh, Taylor, if you're looking for another coach, then let me know." And I'm like, you know what? Yeah. And then their actions aren't reflective of what I would expect. Their standards don't align, and I'd love to, but it needs to be the right person. We have both worked too hard for anything to come in the way of this, brother.
It's almost, and I know this sounds crazy, and I wouldn't want to do this because I want that coach, if I was to take them on, to have their kind of their own sort of niche and their own personality. But it's almost like, to a degree, you're that obsessive that you want to just replicate yourself and create another one of you and say, that's who I want. But they need to bring their own spice to it as well. You know what I mean? So that goes
Question number 2. Death row. 3-course meal.
Shit.
What is it?
No.
Shout out Roscoe. Love you, my boy. Checked in this morning looking very good.
Young Ross?
Yeah. No, Ross. Ross Cameron. Men's Physique Ross.
I love Ross. I've actually got one for him as well.
What's up, Insta Jizzle?
I love Ross. Is the nicest guy, isn't he?
He's
so
fantastic.
Happy, so happy.
He's fantastic.
Death row meal, Ross. Good question. So for me, it's got to be. God, don't make me start off. So hard, bro. I love food. I'm a foodie. Taylor's a foodie. We're foodies, aren't we? fat bastards at heart.
Oh yeah, all bodybuilders are, man.
Oh,
All
they
bodybuilders
absolutely
are.
are. Definitely going to be like a big old tray of just multiple different sushis is my main dessert. It's got to be like an ice cream of some kind and granola, ice cream and granola.
Granola. Ice cream and granola.
Granola. For starter, I don't even know what I would have for starter, bro, to be honest.
Starters are pish, man. Starters are overrated, eh?
Forget. Just give me more of the main course.
No, in fact, you know what? I'm going to do sushi for starters.
You bastard starters.
I'm going to do sushi for starters. I like... mate, I eat the same foods all the time. So whenever I have an off-plan meal, it's either sushi.
Same.
It's either sushi or a burger and fries from Five Guys. That's literally it, man. And I will always finish with 4 granola raisin cookies.
They're so good.
They're so good, man. I used to get them from Subway all the time when I was like, youth.
Oatmeal raisin
Oh,
cookies.
mate, they were the best,
God
man.
almighty.
They were the best. You used to get like 4 for £3, 4 for £4, something like that.
Bro, I need some. Can I get an off plan yet? Because I've not had an off plan since my photo shoot.
Nah,
Bro.
you're spilled, lad. You're spilled, lad. You're spilled.
I need food. I'm kidding.
Give me a pizza.
Panicking. Play a pizza in.
I know. So yeah, I think I would do sushi. I would do I love my granola and ice cream, mate. And then I'd probably do like a big burger and fries, something like that. in the middle. It's so lame, man. Eh? People are like going to be talking about bloody. I don't even know what weird things people love. Carveries. This is a weird one. I've got a couple of clients that love carveries, and I've never understood it.
I do. Listen,
Talk to you, Craig.
Me and Lindsay love a roast. Me and Lindsay, I can't wait to
I used to have Sunday roast.
Sunday roast, bro.
Yeah.
Typically macro track, do you know what I mean? We fuck about our final meals on a meal plan and we create like a nice big Sunday roast, and we do that every Sunday, but obviously because Lindsay's prepping, we've not had a Sunday roast in 20 weeks.
Lindsay. Selfish.
Yeah, it's all about you, get a winter.
They should be, though. Take care of your missus, boys. Take care of your missus.
Take care of your missus.
I know.
They'll treat you well.
Next question.
You want to go? Keep going.
I've got 2. I've done 2. Do you want to get 2?
Aye, I'll go for 2. Right, where have we got here? So, Louis Agnew, my boy Louis Agnew from trains at JP's, cracking little physique.
I think I know that
Natty
fella.
boy. I think he's is he
He's not getting coached by
AJ? No, it's Josh, young Josh Campbell.
young Josh.
So he's basically said.
Also, did you watch Josh on the podcast?
I've not caught up on it
Oh
yet.
my god, he's fucking
Is it good?
bro.
On fire?
He's like fucking 20 going on fucking 5,000, man.
Josh Campbell, you are up
He is
on this
he is
podcast
an
next.
absolute philosopher.
Is he?
Christ on a
Good on him.
bike,
See, I get
man.
that when I'm speaking to him. He's quite in depth, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah,
We love you, Josh.
Intimidated. I was like, oh, it's okay that you're sweating
not,
bastard. No, it's perfect.
Maybe don't get worried. He might put us at a job.
I know.
Just you don't start any podcasts now, Josh, all right?
I know. I'm so bigger than you. Yeah.
Your bodybuilding, why/drive? What's your drive? It's a hard one, isn't it? Because
Right, so I didn't get into bodybuilding for the lure of being big. I love training. I love everything about it, mate.
Yeah.
I can't describe why. I just love it with my entire being. I love going to the gym. I love eating my meals.
Yeah.
I love there's parts of it I don't enjoy, but I just love the dynamic of the whole thing, man. It turns me on why though, man. I've never been particularly good at anything apart from this.
Aye.
And it's very giving me wanting to do more and just to see how far I can take it.
Good for you. And you're doing
I don't want to be like just another
that. Aye.
geezer, mate.
I know that's my feel, bro.
I know I've got more in the tank than that, man.
Yeah.
I've always said that from like a very, very young age that I will do something, I will be something, and there will be good that comes from it.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot, but I'm still far from satisfied, man.
Mate, you're
I
only
still
young
want to
in the
tick
game.
off the boxes with my own bodybuilding for sure. Like,
Aye.
I want to make sure that I set an incredible example so that no client can ever turn around and say to me, "Oh, I can't do this or I can't do that," because you fucking can.
You've done it.
Because I've been a lazy bastard points in my life, and I've done a 180 on it.
100%.
And I've proved to myself and countless others that I can do it through hard work, dedication, doing the appropriate, external tasks to make sure that your head's on point. So yeah, you can, you will, but you got to just realise that it's going to take a while. I know it's going to take a while,
Absolutely.
but I'll get there. What about you? Again, my why
that.
though? I just enjoy it, man. I love it.
Just enjoy.
And why the fucking not? Like, if not me, then who?
Mate, exactly.
If not me, then who?
The time is going to pass anyway. You might as well do something good with it, and that is the sort of fucking factor that you need to ultimately kind of saturate yourself in with bodybuilding. And it is for me as well. I love the delayed gratification. Like before I compete, the first time I compete, which I'd rather not speak about, to be honest, man, just jump into it. I had no passion for that at all, but it gave me that passion when I done that show and just get shredded after like 9 months of training. I'm now going to be, by the time we get on stage in 26, that'll be me like 5, 6 years away from the stage. Do you know what I mean? So it's been that delayed gratification, that build up, which I absolutely love. But for myself, mentally I was just in a shit spot, lost somebody very, 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 very close to me in life, was going through some shitty circumstances. And then I kind of found that passion for training as lockdown hit, so I did, and it made me feel good. And I was like, I like this shit, I absolutely love this. And then that just projected into me ultimately becoming better at it, starting to get in the depths of bodybuilding, starting to kind of look through bodybuilding, stuff like that, and how it made me feel, the person it made me become. I'm very happy with the person I am these days. I feel as though I'm a positive person, and a lot of that stemmed from, if not all of it, is stemmed from the life that bodybuilding's gave me.
I think bodybuilding's given me like an opportunity to just be myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just unapologetic myself, mate. Because I don't give a flying fuck what anyone thinks. I don't. I'm living my best life, man.
That's such a massive factor, bro. 100%.
Mate. I'm living life on my own terms.
See, just as you've said that, I think
saying and doing what I want, like living the fucking dream, mate.
100%, mate. I couldn't agree more. And just if you said that, I'll just touch on this one for Aidan quickly as well, because that's exactly what you've said. One piece of advice both you and Taylor would give your younger self that people can also use. And for me, it's pretty much what Taylor just said. Be your unapologetic self. Yeah. Don't be what other people want you to be who you want to be. As soon as I done that, my life just started doing that. Didn't give a shit what MD thought or said about me. Who cares? Do you know what I mean? Do not allow that to impact you, because if you're going to allow somebody else's thoughts and feelings about you impact what you could potentially achieve in this life, you're as well as being dead just now. Like, genuinely, what purpose have you got here if you're not shooting for what you want to achieve? And
so when I was
paid as well,
like I said in the last podcast, or when I was on the TNT podcast, if you guys haven't watched it, go and check them out, man. They're amazing boys. You know, like I was talking about, like my kind of like background, and when I was younger, like bodybuilding just wasn't a thing. It was like you play rugby. Some of the boys played like fucking hockey, lame. Boys that play hockey, I don't understand that. I'm sorry, guys, I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Shinty.
But anyway, oh Christ, I think Shinty's fucking mental, by the way.
Is that the one?
Because they flick the ball and they smack it. So Shinty's bonkers. Shinty's like a more masculine hockey. Like I wouldn't fuck with Shinty boys.
Hockey's rough and all, isn't it? They square goal.
Oh no, that's like ice hockey though.
Oh, I
mean like field hockey though. That's like that stuff's different. That stuff's different.
But
anyway, I'm going off. So there was no bodybuilding ever where I was from, right? There was a couple of bodybuilders around my gym, but like, you know, if you went to the gym, you're a bit of a meathead or you're up your own arse, and like I just enjoyed it, mate. I wasn't doing it for any other reason. I just clicked with it and enjoyed it. And I can just remember being from such a young age, like feeling like I had to fit in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Like
doing
I need to do this to fit in. And like I ended up, you know, after school just being like, man, fuck this, man. Like what's the point?
Be yourself.
And see, when you start like just being yourself, you know, people will naturally move away from you, but that's fucking fine. That's fine.
Absolutely. Because you don't want to be around people anyway. You don't want to be.
As long as you're like, your morals are appropriate, I don't care like how you are, what your background is, as long as like if I connect with you, mate, I'll connect with you, you're one of my mates. But like I just felt like there wasn't much happening with regards to like bodybuilding, and so when I started just taking a step back from everything and doing what I actually wanted, that's when my life started turning. Like, I can remember putting up content on my Instagram, and like boys at school were like laugh, like my mates would just like take the piss out of me. You know, like I'd be me like training, I'd be like running, they'd be like, what the fuck, blah 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 blah, and I'm just like. Look at me now,
bro! It's so good. Look at him now. You're absolutely right, and I've actually been in situations where I've had close friends who are, as I was doing it, I was putting out content. I knew they were slagging me behind my back. I was in a barber's one day, and somebody was literally talking about what one of my friends had said to the barber about me. Didn't know I was sitting right there. I was like, "That's my fucking pal."
Yeah.
It was like Calvin, I said, Calvin will be too busy taking selfies, he's sell his tap half and showing off his fit. And I'm like, you're meant to be my boy and you done me like that.
It just shows you though, man.
Crazy, bro.
And I think as well, if there's anyone who ever listens to this bit and that you're part of that bracket, I'd maybe like look at yourself first.
You have got issues with yourself. If you're bringing somebody else down for doing what they love, you dislike something about yourself, okay, go and sort it out. Because there's no reason for you to see somebody enjoy themselves, enjoy their life, put themselves out there. And yes, to a degree, if you're putting yourself out there on Instagram, I could show you my DMs. I get slagged every goddamn day. Like,
happens to us all, mate.
It happens to us all. But you need to have thick skin if you're putting yourself out there. There's always going to be nasty people. But if you are the person who is slagging somebody off for doing something positive with their life, you have got something seriously deeply rooted within you that needs fixed. Your mum and dad fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely. It's probably stemmed for something young, do you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
it's their insecurities.
absolutely.
What insecurities? One more question?
You go, my boy, because I done two. I done Aiden's
Right,
one.
we'll do
there.
one more. We'll finish off on a good one. Right, so Scottish show lineups. Who's winning?
Oh,
So we do.
Lindsay.
So we'll do females.
Aye.
Right, so we'll do female. We'll do again. Well, bikini girls that I know is doing it. Obviously, we've got our Lindsay.
Aye. Lindsay. I'll tell you somebody right now who has made insane improvements. Big shout out to this girl. It has been incredible to watch. Lovely girl as well. I like it. She's humble. She is a humble girl. I probably get the feeling from her that she maybe thinks she isn't as good as what she is, but the improvement she's made from competing last year to this year. Kennedy, you know her?
I think Kenny is.
You'll know exactly.
Let's see.
She's coached by Vaughn now. She was with your boy
Oh,
Ben.
she shared one of the things last week.
Kennedy is looking dangerous, my G.
Oh yeah.
She has made insane improvements.
I'll give her a
Kennedy
follow
Fit,
back.
I don't know her
Aye.
second name.
Oh my god, her fucking delts, dude.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
She just
Bikini trained.
I can't. She's getting to the realm of looking trained.
Dude, her delts are insane.
Mate, it's crazy.
And the dryness that she's possessing through them. Even like, oh my god.
Go and do a bit of Instagram stalking, right? And scroll back to her season last year. Don't get me wrong, she looked insane last year. She done well. I think she won PCA Scotland, stuff like that last
I
year.
can see them
But
here,
bro,
yeah.
this year, she's up for the Scottish Pro Cup
What is
contender.
Vaughn been feeding her delts, mate? Vaughn, get her delt volume reined in now, brother. She's going into figure.
Zero walking sets
Honestly,
on
mate, see if
delts.
she just
It's
see if she
crazy,
pounds or lower.
Absolutely,
More
man.
lats, mate. Genuinely,
The
I
upper
can see her
bodies are
going into the bigger
madness.
classes.
Low looks insane as well,
Yeah.
but
Do you know who else is looking insane, by the way?
the
Do you know
improvement
Hannah
she's made.
McClellan?
He's going to show me her.
Bro,
Just a
I'll
quick-
show you this. I'll show you her. She's
Why
insane.
do I know that?
So Hannah McClellan has a client called Braun. And oh my days!
I know, mate. Aye.
I said to her, I was like, get her slapped into a Pro
Mate,
Q, man, because she looks insane.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I've got this girl on Instagram.
Oh, mate, it's bonkers.
Let me see. I've got her on Instagram. 100%, man. She, like the level of muscularity, insane.
Yeah.
The level of muscularity.
It's good seeing like some dominant bikini girls coming out of Scotland,
100%,
man. Really good,
100%.
really good.
She's going to be good as well, man. 100%. I think she'll probably be, like, she'll be in against Lindsay. I'm sure she might be. She looks tall anyway, doesn't she? Or Lindsay might be. Aye. So the people like that, do you know what I mean? Like, she looks insane. And mate, her transformation.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Webron.
Yeah,
Her
shout out.
transformation.
Shout out to Hannah as well, man. Hannah McClellan's our coach. She's
Look at
done
her
really good.
transformation. It's ridiculous. She's done well. So you've got Kennedy, Lindsay, who I think Lindsay's looking absolutely legit. She's skinned alive. Like to see a few more pounds of muscle in the right areas going into her off season and stuff like that. But that's the thing, you've always got to progress the areas. Do you know what I mean? She's definitely, from a condition standpoint, she's ahead of the game for condition. So you've got that's who's really standing out to me just
What
now
about
in
any
terms of
other-
females.
What about any other any men's physique boys? Obviously, we've got Thingy going again. What's his name? He beat Tyler at Granite last year. Dean
Going
Nicholson,
again, because we spoke
Dean
about him
will be
last year.
going again.
Dean.
Hopefully he'll come in
Yeah,
good.
who should we go to an MP? Because that's I should know that. I'm trying to think. I'm so sorry, guys, if there's a Scottish MP athlete out there that's not popping into my mind.
There probably is.
I've actually got an MP athlete that's just jumped home with me. Turbo Prep.
Oh, I seen that. He stripped like 8 kilos in the first.
Bro, the
ripped it
guy's a
off him.
workhorse, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we're going to start looking at shows for him. He's looking great. First timer. He's been, like I said, you need to get him with posing. He's been in with Dylan Guthrie. Like constant posing sessions, stuff like that. So I'm like, my boy's going for it.
Good.
He's looking good.
Classic boys. We've got
Classic
Stephen
boys.
McDonald. So
That
he's
just
doing
looks
Aberdeen.
ridiculous, man.
He'll obviously, well, he should win Classic. I think he looks ahead of where he was last year at this point. I mean, like, he does like shotgun preps, man. Like, he stays
Mate, I've
tight
heard
year
this guy's
round.
like
Yeah.
deadlifting 400 kilo
Bro,
and all that shit.
No doubt, like 2 weeks ago, he's probably doing some strongman shit.
That's so he's
know.
just that genetic
It blows my
specimen.
mind because
And that
no
throws
offense, no offense, Stephen, but
Crazy.
like when I stand side by side Stephen, like he's small.
Oh, you know,
okay,
you know, aye.
but when he takes his clothes off and
Sleeper
starts
build.
posing, because the muscle bellies, at which point they insert,
Just
the,
makes him
the
look-
condition. Oh my god!
typically notice
bro,
that 100%.
remember he was competing against Gaz,
Mate, that's
He didn't look out of size
Aye.
against Gaz, who arguably had at least 50, 60 pounds of
crazy.
muscle on him.
That's crazy.
You know, and speaking of that,
Gazzing.
Gaz is obviously going to be competing this year.
Is he
So
competing?
he's doing the Scottish.
Right.
So Gaz is going to be doing the
Is he
Scottish.
not a pro? So can he do?
So he's a PCA pro. Now PCA will allow them to compete with other federations.
Oh, no way.
That's exclusively with PCA. So whereas if you're like a NABA pro, if you're
You can.
a fucking whatever
Big
pro,
up
if you're an
PCA. Let me
IFBB
just
pro,
start off by saying this, and I'm going to put it out there. I think PCA is one of the best federations in the country, if not the best, man. The way they run things, the lighting, the production. In fact, sorry, they're the second best. Big up the Granite. Scottish Olympia.
Oh, on that note, we have Pete and Rob joining us for the next podcast. So we've got the Granite
Cannot
Man
wait.
come. We've got our first set of guests.
First set of guests,
I
Pete and
know.
Rob for the Granite. We cannot wait to have you on. They go into depths about the Granite.
Oh, mate,
and
that'll be
whatnot.
great to have on.
Aye, they seem like fun guys, man.
It's like
So
there's a
they
couple
do.
of coaches passes on the house for the publicity, boys. Come on. Come
I'm
on.
going to hold off on buying mine. It's sort of boys.
I quite like the new Granite merch as well,
Aye.
bro. I'm just saying. It was getting quite cold.
Extra medium for me.
Yeah. 3XL for me.
Oh,
Come
but-
on.
it'll be good. In terms of athletes as well, so Classic Steve McDonald, like you said.
Open, so we've got big Gaz.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Greg Taylor's going to be going for it again.
Is
I
he going, right?
think Gaz, if I'm being brutally honest with you, Gaz has what Greg lacks.
So so there might be a wee. Is Gaz going for? So he's going for 2 bros.
He's going for turbos.
Oh.
Yeah, he'll go for turbos. So hopefully, I think Greg's going to be competing. And if I'm being honest with you, Gaz's upper just smokes Greg's. Greg has a world class lower, but the issue is
you
his
think
upper.
aye.
I think he's got horrible injuries to his upper body. He can't pose particularly well due to it. Even like in terms of the imbalance side to side, you can see that a lack of mobility. It'll probably kind of like take him down a bit.
Do you think that Gaz's ratios will just take it?
Yeah, but the thing is that Gaz's quads from the front. You know, the Greg's quads from the front smoke Gaz's quads from the front. But as soon as Gaz turns around, the
rear.
thickness to the adductor, to the glutes, to the back, Gaz needs to be fucking peeled. That's my only concern.
Inside out.
And he's 8 weeks out just now. He looks good for 8 weeks, but I want to see way more off him, man. Like, the thing is, man, is that with two bros, they're going to look at him covering tattoos.
Aye,
And they
judge
don't
him
like
straight away on that.
tattoos. They don't like tattoos.
You seen that last year with Dylan and Cook?
Yep.
They didn't even look at them. There was a guy that Dylan and Cook actually beat the week
I
before
remember
at PCA.
him, and he did piece. Yeah,
What was his- nice wee guy.
It was
Looked amazing.
He was coached by Zach Fotheringham, maybe. No. Michael Fox.
Michael Fox. Aye, 'cause I
It was
seen
Michael
him at
Fox,
the him at the 2 Pro show.
Michael Fox. And he's actually he's Scottish. Or he's from somewhere.
His
but
back,
somewhere.
well, his upper
Aye.
back when he hit his back shot, I was like, what?
Yeah.
But I'm sure he actually could beat off Dylan. And
But see if Gaz delivers condition, I would be offended if Two Bros didn't give him the nod.
aye,
Just down to that, because the shape, if he wins the condition, the balance. You know, again, Greg might turn up and win, man, but I've got a feeling that it'll be Gaz.
Well, you've got to look
if
at
he
other
comes in
people who-
condition, which I hope
Aye.
he does. Hope he does. I'm rooting for you guys.
who do you typically see head to toe in tattoos that does well at 2 Bros show?
No one. Dude's a boy at the gym, Muscle Link. Dean, his name is. He did a 2 Bros and they didn't even look at him, bro.
That's shit.
He dieted for so long, so hard, got himself in same condition. He was standing right in front of them.
Do you
and
think
he's
it's
just,
like the kind of
Doesn't
almost
feed their
2 Bros
agenda.
beauty pageant thing?
Yeah,
Aye,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like you've destroyed your body by putting ink all over it, sort of thing. That's what they look at it as, isn't it? Which is absolutely wild. Absolutely wild.
I can
bet I'll get rid of
understand
this.
it to an extent, though.
I better get
I
rid
mean,
of
that's
this
like
shit
when
for
my
next year.
tattoos are just my hands, and my
Aye,
foot.
that's
Like
cool.
I'm getting the rest of my foot
get it.
tattooed on
100%.
Wednesday. Can't fucking wait. Right, fucking agony. For
Your foot?
I'm getting.
Are you going to run it up your leg a bit?
Nah, I'm going to just get it into a sock.
Aye,
Get
don't
like
touch
2
the
socks.
cords and
2
that,
socks. Just with bodybuilding, mate. I'll keep everything covered.
One
in.
thing I regret about my right sleeve here, I got that before I was doing this. Do you know what I mean?
To be
I'm
fair
like,
though, you'll be fine with that.
it's
But
not-
see if both arms were, your chest was done, I'd say, aye, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're gonna have to get a bit of dream tan on that to try and cover it a little bit. But you can be quite sensible though. Like you can be quite sensible with the tan. You have a very very fine layer of dream tan over your coat.
top
usually
coat.
works. Aye.
maybe shoot for that.
So yeah, I'm trying to think who else there is.
Do you know what, I was coming into this podcast and I was like, there's a few boys I want to mention, a couple of girls, and I've just completely left my head, man. But we've still got another 3-4 weeks to the season start, so we can obviously talk about them as well on another podcast. But I can't even.
Oh, Ryan Gablione, he'll be doing it as well. Gabba, he's classic. He's awfully dense. He's awfully thick for classic. I just want to see him with more muscle.
Did he win 2 blows?
I just would rather see him with more muscle going into the heavyweights again, man.
Because you've seen it last year when he was against.
If he can just get more like thickness to his chest, I think his physique's great.
Was it against Andy?
No, yeah, he wasn't for the overall.
For the overall,
but Andy was going to take that inevitably.
Of course.
Inevitably. In terms of open class bodybuilders, obviously Josh Dougal's going again this year. He's talking to him. He's doing the Ben
Shooting
Reader
for the pro
yeah,
card.
he's doing.
What do you think he'll get it?
He's close. But by the way, let me preface this by saying that Josh, you're a fucking great guy, and if you're watching this, but I think he just needs more size, man. Like,
which is ridiculous to think.
Yeah,
because he's fucking
Josh is huge, but mate.
But you know the caliber you're going up against, man.
But he'll be there.
Levels.
He'll be there. He's younger. He's 5 years younger than me, dude.
It's crazy.
You know, he's 23,
it's not
24.
a matter if with Josh, it's a matter of when.
It's a matter of 10, man. No matter when. He'll do well, mate, and learn it. And this is the best that he's looked. I seen him yesterday, and the texture of his skin is I've never seen it before. Just looks plasticky.
I love that.
You know, looks plastically.
Sick. He looks. He's just a perfect kind of structure and stuff like that. Like you say, a few pounds of muscle in the right areas.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing my mate Michael Cairnsey compete as well.
Right.
He competed last year, man, and he just the pacing of it wasn't appropriate. If I'm being honest with you, man. Bro, he was up at like 290 in the off season, and then he was down at like 230, I think, on prep.
Oh no, that's too much.
Yeah, but then he still had more to come off, man, and he was gutted, mate, and I was gutted for him. Because he's such
we spoke about earlier in the podcast, Mikey boy, you don't need to push the off seasons.
Yeah, nah, man.
Do you know what I mean? It's just more to pull off.
Yeah, man. But I think he's with Hilly just now. It seems to be clicking really well. This is like redemption for him, man. It's gonna mean a lot to him to do well. So I really do hope that he does.
Scottish season, yeah.
Yeah, within Scottish season, man. So we'll see him
bodybuilding,
Granite. Yeah, I think he's actually class 2. So he might be in with a couple of boys, which will be good. To be fair, him and Chris actually pair up quite well together. Yeah, I think they're compatible.
Take him, Chris. Take him.
I think they're compatible in terms of structure, muscularity.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. Condition, I think, will be the decider there. But I'm really looking forward to seeing him. I can't wait for Granite, mate.
Mate, the Granite is, that's what I said last year, the
it's
Scottish
just
Olympia,
social,
bro.
Mate. It's just a good social, man.
You see everybody for it, you're like, how you doing?
I never have any time chilling with the homies, mate, because I'm too busy fucking seeing everyone, which is nice.
It'll be good, man. It's going to be brilliant. A lot of my clients are coming up as well, so they're, man, because I've got a lot of clients competing in 2026, first timers, like a lot of first timers, man, so
I've got a lot at the back end. Do you have any at the back end of the year?
Next year?
No, this year.
This year.
I've got fucking loads, man.
That's when all yours are competing at the back end of the year?
Like 5 at the back end.
Bro, after... I do. So, MP client Craig gets shipped off to America. He is going to be back and he's doing the British finals, so I'll rebound his ass just now. Great. We've got like 8 weeks left of duration of exposure, so like rebound, let's go.
Good.
Food in, man, let's get massive quickly. I'll slap on a bit anyway. He doesn't get fat in off season, bro. I've just put him, like, I've just shot his food up and like get a couple of off plans in. Go and train hard as fuck, let's go. Do you know what I mean? And then coming out the back end, he's going to shoot for a qualifier for the British finals. And the British finals in October, which ties perfectly because he's back in like September.
Good. I'll hopefully have a couple of. I'll hopefully have a couple of people doing the British finals as well.
Well, perfect. Yeah. We'll go for that together. But I know all your clients are kind of at the back end.
All back end of the year. I've got Rab, who's doing mid. He'll be awesome.
Have you got a couple of natural clients?
Yeah, I've got quite a few. I've got a few free natural clients. I've got 2.
Good.
I've got 4 natural girls, 2 guys.
Nice.
So I've got 4 natty girls. I've got 3 natty girls, and then I've got 2 natty boys and then 1 assisted.
Nice.
So there's actually, if not 5, there's actually 7 of them. Is that 7? 7, something like that. So we'll see.
No, that'll be good, man.
I'm looking forward to it.
Are they doing any of the PCA natural shows? Or?
Yeah.
Nice. I look forward to seeing these because there's more of them now.
Honestly, mate, September's going to be fucking mental, man. I'm excited, but I'm also like, I'm fucked, man.
See, last September, mate, I was like 4 shows, fucking 3-4 clients competing at the shows and all that. I was like, this is crazy. But it was so good as well.
I can't wait.
Every weekend, I'm just up and down south.
I don't know if you feel this, but see, come the final show, do you feel like you're just finishing for summer?
Mate,
I feel like I finished school for summer.
That's what it's like. It's like, I can't wait just to get a good spell now at my own bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Because, bro, I'm going to be honest with you, man, I cannot. It was actually, who was it last year? Abby. Abby was saying to me, because she done like 5 shows back to back almost, and she was like, I've actually ruined your off season, haven't I can't eat on show day, bro. I try my best. I'm so sick. I'm so nervous for my client. I'm like, I cannot eat just now. Lindsay was texting me, make sure you eat the day. Stephen, Sean, Aidan, they're like, try to feed me meals and all that. But like, Monk, you need to eat something. I'm like, fucking get that food out my face. Because you're just so on edge.
Nervous. Yeah, it's nervous.
Because you're thinking about the athlete, and you 100%. But you're right, man. It's like, right, I can focus on my... But there's a wee hint of sadness there as well. Like, I've got to wait till next year, though. But it's exciting, man. Very exciting. Scottish season upcoming, people. And I'm excited about it. Scottish bodybuilding, fucking, you're doing well just now, man. It's making a bit of noise.
Come on.
Making a bit of noise. And I did say it would be comparable to the English if we were a bigger country.
Trust me, we're going to get there, man. I just want Scottish athletes to just step up, man. I want to see more from them. I want to see a lot more from them.
Definitely.
I want to see more people putting their name out there. I want to see more people pushing themselves more, man. I want to make sure that Scotland's
doing what we'll do.
Being fucking acknowledged, man. Because we've got a lot of heavy hitters here, man.
100%, man. You know? There's things you don't even know about because they don't really put it out there and stuff like that, which is cool.
Do you know Wojtek?
But mate, I
seen Wojtek in the gym yesterday, man, and I was like, "You're an OG, mate." So he beat Andy. So it was like before Andy kind of got into like a really good kind of running streak, maybe like 6 years ago, NABA, Scotland, I think it was.
Old school, aye.
Aye, mate, but he's a
Legend.
freak, mate.
Legend of the game.
You seen him yesterday. I was like, "You going to compete?" He's like, "I don't know." So it'd be good to see
Is
him
he
make a
Polish?
return. He's Polish, yeah. I think it was Josh Dougal's first coach. Lovely guy. Trains like an absolute maniac.
Just
It's just ingrained in these poles, innit?
they're animals. They're just animals. So like, fuck it.
Dude, there was a boy at Flex, Dom, his name was. He literally like Dominic Toretto, mate. He literally like
Vin Diesel.
That's literally the Polish description.
That's
Dominic
brilliant.
Toretto. They're all just like bigger, chunkier Vin Diesel, aren't they?
That's 100%, man. And they all look absolutely insane.
They all look insane, but they look terrifying
It's
as
that
well.
density
Shout out to
in
you
the muscle.
boys. Shout out to you boys. They're all lovely as well, though.
I got the Polish.
They're all lovely.
Nah.
But he was a total madman. Jesus Christ.
Just fucking launching loads of
Just like pre-workout, pre-cardio fasted insulin. It's the only way.
pre-cardio fasted.
He's like, when you hit the hypo, the fat is burning.
Bro, that's mad.
I was
mad.
like, yeah, you should
Man,
heard about
self-inducing hypos.
you should hear about the fucking protocols, man. I was just sat there.
Wild.
Like,
Sometimes I think as well I've heard that, well, definitely at this stage anyway, I feel as though I've heard a lot in regards to protocols, PDs and whatnot. And then you hear some crazier shit. You're like, how are people still alive?
Bro.
Listen, I'll say this, the human body
Very
can
tolerable.
tolerate a lot of shit, man.
See when people are like, "Oh, I'm going to die if I have like 40 micrograms of Clen." I'm like, sister. I'm like, I personally feel Yohimbine is worse than Clen. I hate Yohimbine. I hate it.
Horrible drug.
Hate it. It tastes like. It feels
And it's
like
crazy
ass.
because that's the natural one, and that's the one naturals can use.
Give me 160 micrograms of Clen any day over Yohimbine.
Mate, there's been studies done up to 720 microgram of Clen in rats without any issues with the heart or anything like that.
Yep.
So
you can run it for a while as well.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Good old Clen Buterol.
Happy days, mate. Well, I think
thank you.
we're about an hour and a half in. So
That was a long one.
I looked, it was about an hour. I looked again, it was an hour 40. But I'm sure they'll be able to clip some good bits. It was good though. I enjoyed this one.
100%.
Good bit of fucking.
Thank you so much,
Good bit
brother,
of everything
for
as
your
always,
time.
man. Thanks to everyone for watching.
Tuning in again.
Once
Appreciate
again,
you.
shout out to our sponsors, Pit Stop. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. Calvin and I will be working with
We
them
love you
for
to bits.
another year.
Yep.
No doubt we'll be there for a year after that.
I
a year
just
after
actually
that.
just signed my contract.
Yep.
So Neil, Suzanne, love you. Jack and Molly as well.
Shout out to yous.
Honoured to be a part of it. So God bless Pit Stop Nutrition.
So
Thank
check
you.
them out. Use code CRM10 and Taylor10. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. It really does help when you guys are sharing this stuff on Instagram.
does.
So please get tagging, get sharing, get watching. Any feedbacks, of course, always welcome. Let us know if there's any specific you want to talk about. We both got asked heaps of questions, man. So I think I'm going to sit later on. Go to David Lloyd's after, go for a wee spa day now.
And start answering.
I think I want to answer some ones as well.
Aye,
You'll probably do the
definitely.
same, something like
Wee
that.
Sunday spa day.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice, mate. Because
That's-
like, I'm getting to the weekends now, man. I fucking
You
feel it.
need
I'm like,
to-
I need just a,
need to
bit,
have that
of,
day,
a
man.
bit of a breather, man.
Yeah, you need to have that day.
And Joy and I have just joined David Lloyd's
You were saying that.
in Edinburgh, man. And mate, it's beautiful,
That's
man.
class.
It's
That's
so
class,
nice.
mate.
Just
I love
going
that.
in, mate. Dude, they've got like four. They've got you go into the spa.
Yeah.
It's like Gleneagles quality, man. Gleneagles quality.
Ridiculous. That's amazing.
But you go in, they've got a plunge pool. They've got like bloody fire and ice spas. They've got like different pools, different temperatures.
Mate, that's amazing.
You
Like
go
the mad
outside,
thermal
bro. They have
things.
outside spas.
That's amazing. That's so good, man.
You know,
that's what you need. You need to have that. You need to have that one day a week where you just, it makes you a better coach, makes you a better athlete, makes you a better human being.
I just want to just have a breather. That's it, man. That's it, man.
Same.
Like, I think we're people just like the rest of us, man. You know, and then
Absolutely,
I think it's nice
mate.
just to take a moment to recharge. What are you doing for the rest of your day now? Back to the gym.
Unloading a van of kit. Unloading a van, a big box van. I'm literally going to pick up a box van, pick up a couple of bits of kit from Big Ross Oven, and then take it to my gym and offload it, get a wee bit of work done there. And then tonight, I say to Lindsay, if you want to go for it, I don't know if we'll make it happen, but hopefully, because I need a wee bit of downtime, just go for a wee sauna, spa, steam room.
What are you thinking?
Bannintines.
Bannintines, good lads.
Aye, something like that.
Good.
Quick work.
Sweet. Well,
Much love.
thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Gesundheit. Peace.